Let's start by finding a nice standing position. And the way we do this is getting the feet sort of just directly below the hips. So not out and not too in. Just take a moment to feel a nice posture with the feet pointing forward underneath the hips and standing. And then before we get into any stretches or movement, the first thing we're going to do is stand tall. And the way we're going to do that, typically we get told to thrust our shoulders back like we're in the army. Don't do this. And that just hurts. You can feel it hurts. It's not pleasant. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine a golden thread that's attached to the heart, to the heart space here in the centre of the chest. And imagining that someone is pulling that thread. What this does, it just pulls the chest up and out, and everything sort of falls back. The shoulders roll back. Yeah, you get a nice curve in the lower back. Just soften it off a bit. It just helps you stand tall, firm on your feet before we get stretching. First thing to do is the hands. So having them outright and just stretching the fingers out as far as we'll go. Feel a nice stretch through all the fingers, and you're going to wrap your fingers around your thumb. And you're going to see how slowly you can do that as you unwrap them. We'll do it a second time. The goal isn't to do it slowly. It's the game we're going to play. So the goal really is to do it with the breath, and we'll get to that in a minute. And the third time, so stretching out, wrapping round, and unwrapping. I'm going to go with threes to make this a rather brief stretch, but I like to do threes or fives or sevens for each movement. So now we're going to move to the wrists, and this time we'll try with the breath. So folding the fingers over the thumb and not squeezing, just a light hold, like a light fist. I'm going to rotate the wrists. This time we're going to do it with the breath. So this is the way of bringing awareness and gentleness to what we're doing. So starting with the fists up, we're going to breathe in and drop down to 6 o'clock. That's how slow we're going to go. And then we're going to breathe out, bring it back to 12 o'clock. And into 6 o'clock. And then out to 12 o'clock. And we'll have our threes, so we'll do 3, breathing in. And out again. You might feel the wrists crunching and clicking and cracking, it's all good. We're going to go the other way, breathing in. And then breathing out to 12 o'clock. Breathe into 6 o'clock. Really push through, feel the stretch out to 12 o'clock. Push up. And the third time. And then push up. What I like to do, it's a bit more dynamic, this one is, then what I like to do is a little bit more dynamic, this one, is do the elbows. So just 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And we do the same with the shoulders. We'll do a slow one in a minute, but I like to loosen them up just 1. And when you do it, don't try and force them into parallel, just wherever the shoulder naturally goes. So we're not doing this, and hurting ourselves. Just wherever we can get that rotation. You might have to do it a lot slower than that if your shoulders are tense or tight. Back the other way. And the second time. Third time. And then one thing I like to do is to do opposites. So bring the arms up above the head. One's going to go forward, right hand forward, left hand back. And it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, and the other way. 1, 2, 3. That just loosens the shoulders out a bit. So now for some more traditional shoulder rolling. Fingertips to the shoulder blades. Again, just check your posture. Pull the thread out, let your chest Up and out, heart open. And we're going to go back with the breath, so it's going to be quite slow. We're going to bring the shoulders into the middle, so push into the middle, breathing out, and then over the top. So breathe in and out as we squeeze into the middle and over the top. That's it. And then back the other way. And again, you know, this might feel quite tense in the shoulders. Just give it all a nice stretch. Alright, lovely. Alright, so now, I'm just going to go to the head. Here we have to be super, super gentle. You know, it's like a big old bowling ball, this tiny little plinth of the neck. So we're just going to be super gentle. So making sure we're standing as upright as we can. I'm going to take the left ear down to the left shoulder. Nice and gentle. And again, don't really go as far as you can go. And back up to the centre, and then right ear to the right shoulder. Get a click in there, and then back to the centre. So we'll do it with the breath this time, the second time. So breathe in, breathe out to the left, breathe into the centre, breathe out to the right, there's a click, and breathe into the centre, and out to the left, and into the centre, and out to the right. So one thing we can do with these exercises is you can lean off to the left, and whichever way you're leaning, take that hand, sort of push your head into your hands, so as if your head's trying to push down and your hand's trying to push up. Do that for a couple of moments, and then your head will just give a little extra millimetre in the stretch. It's almost like it gets reassured and can let go a little bit more. You say to the right. Push into the right hand, push up with the right hand, and go extra so, okay, cool. Okay, do some forward and backwards, so again with the breath, breathe in, rolling forward, into the centre, and out to the back. Second time, breathe out to the front, into the centre, out to the back, into the centre, back. And then with the breath, it's a little tricky to do this while I'm speaking. With the breath goes first. So I'll demonstrate that on the second one of these ones. So again, with your little golden thread, so we can fall back a little bit. We're going to go looking over the shoulder left and right. So with this one we breathe in, and then rotate the head towards the shoulder just as far as you can go, and like swivel your eyes round to the left, so as if you're looking behind you. Focusing on the neck. Don't twist the body to get the extra look, just focus on the neck. And we'll do the same to the right. So breathing in, and out to the right. And into the centre. So this time as we do the second one, I'll demonstrate what I mean by the breath lead. So. Third time. Okay, and if you like, really gently, some people really go for this one, but it can be nice to just roll that out around the back. Around the front. And the trick is to be gentle and slow. Like we're not doing exercise per se here, we're giving a little bit of love to those bits of our bodies that hurt, just crying out for a bit of tenderness. Okay, so now we're going to switch down to the bottom of our body with the feet, and what we did with the wrists we're going to do with the ankles. Okay, so if you need to lean on something, by all means do so. If you can stand on one foot, then that's great. So let's start with the left. So standing on the right, just bring the left leg up a little bit, and again we're going to breathe down to 6, up to 12, to 6, point the toes, to 12, to 6, 12, and then back the other way down to 6, up to 12, to 6, to 12, to 6, to 12. Again, finding your nice standing posture. Golden thread at the chest, everything falling off the shoulders. So now standing on the left leg, raising the right. And again, starting the up position, toes point up. Breathe in, down to 6, out, to 12, to 12, and a third time, and to 12, and then back the other way into 6, to 12, to 6, to 12, and into 6. Going to move up to the knees now. So got to be careful with the knees. What we'll do, take a position with the hands on the knees like you're going to do the Charleston. You're just going to rotate those knees, and you just want to sort of cop the knees in your hands to give you a bit of extra support. So I do this fairly dynamically, so not with the breath, just moving them round. Just give them a little bit of extra love. Okay, up to the hips and the pelvis. So we're going to do a couple of things here. This is the last set really. So hands on your hips. Now I'm going to widen the stance a little bit, and we're going to rotate the hips. So we're going to really focus on this, the hips and the pelvis, rather than the trunk and the legs. Try and keep them as steady as possible. And go around to the back, and all the way around to the front, and around to the back, and all the way around to the front, and the back, and the front, back the other way for 3, and around to the front. Okay. So staying in the same sort of wide posture, we're going to rotate the trunk around the pelvis now. You might even go a little wider. This one can feel quite challenging for your lower back, so just be really gentle. If it's too much, just don't do it. In fact, that's for life. If it's too much, just don't do it. Alright, here we go. So we'll roll this to the side, and we'll come down just as far as you can go, and back up really gently. And round. And then we're going to go back the other way. This is the final bit. 1, In the feet, underneath the hips, one last time. Golden thread at the heart.